Hello, 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 and welcome back once again to another brand new episode of Star Trek Discovery Review, where we're on episode 5 already, entitled Mirrors. So, this is continuing on, of course, with the story after last week's filler episode. People have said to me that it's not really filler. I still think it's filler. It didn't do anything to progress the story all that much. So to me, filler. To each their own, I guess. But yeah, so in today's episode, we continue looking for where Maul and Locke have gone to. It turns out that there's this big giant wormhole, and so Burnham and Book go into it, and as they're in there, they find something. And what is that something that they find? Well, they find a Constitution class, but not just any Constitution class, the ISS Enterprise from the Mirror Universe. Yes, something that was teased at in the trailer at the end of episode 1, as well as we seen bits of it, or at least the Terran emblem at the during one of the trailers before this series had started airing. So we knew something Mirror Universe related was happening, and it turns out this is where the clue is. Um, and so yeah, they get into a shuttle as they're approaching just before they spot the ISS Enterprise. They notice Maul and Locke's ship has been ripped in half. So they find one part of it, and then as they get closer to the Enterprise, they find the other part of it, and so they dock, they go up to the bridge, and yeah, they basically reused the Strange New Worlds sets, redressed them a little bit, save money, they're there, they weren't doing much at that time, so why not use them? Um, and so yeah, they go down to sick bay, which is where Maul and Locke are, with the next clue, and so they try to talk them out of it. Try to say, look, if you come with us, serve your time, you'll be fine. Try to get them to surrender, and that's when we learn that the running theory of Locke being a Breen is true. He is a Breen. That's what Breens look like under their masks, at least in the 32nd century, which I'm trying to see how I feel about that. It was the running theory. I'm happy that it's true. We get to see an updated look to the Breen for the 32nd century in flashbacks. Um, I still prefer the Dominion War look that we get for the Breen. I definitely think that looks better than just the whole black suit aesthetic that we see for the 32nd century. We also learned that Breens have two faces. There's the face that's underneath the mask, which is transparent, and then there's the face that's solid. So I'm wondering if that's just like a new thing that's happened, since we last seen the Breen in the during the Dominion, or has that always been a thing? Because really, there's only one person in all of Star Trek who could tell us that, and that is, of course, Kira Nerys, from that one episode in DS9 where she's with Dukat, trying to get Dukat's half Cardassian, half Bajoran daughter, um, on a Breen prison planet. And so we learned that the Breen have this hit out on Maul and Locke, and we get to learn why. So Maul instantly fell in love with Locke. Locke fell in love with her. Whenever she would bring them, dilithium, uh, they hung around, made out, typical relationshipy things. And so then it turns out that Locke is actually a member of royalty in the Breen, hierarchy, but he's so bad at his job that he was literally put down into storage to deal with couriers and that. Um, and then throughout the course of more flashbacks, as we've seen throughout the episode, we learn that his uncle, who's the leader, I guess, discovers them and tries to get Locke to kill Maul. He doesn't. He shoots the two Breen guards, and then instead of actually killing his uncle who raised him, he just shoots him in the shoulder, and then they both escape to the Emerald Chain. We also learn why Maul is doing this, that there's some colony in the Gamma Quadrant that she wants to go to, where she won't have to worry about being a courier. She won't have to worry about Latinum and having to watch her back and all that. And it's I mean I don't mind it. I don't mind it. So yeah, the ISS Enterprise. Well, we do learn some stuff about it. So we now know what happened to it in the mirror universe, which again ties back into what we know from the mirror universe episodes in DS9. And that is, well, Spock, he went to try and reform the Terran Empire. That's when other powers vied for actual power. The Klingons, Cardassians, Bajorans, all species that were under the iron fist of the Terran Empire, and so they used um, the ISS Enterprise, which was the real catalyst to all of this, because of Prime, Kirk, uh, Uhura, and Scotty, I want to say. It's been a while since I rewatched Mirror Mirror. When they crossed over into the Terran Empire in the season 2, episode 4 of the original series episode called Mirror Mirror. And so then we also learned that Saru was a part of the escapees. So they went into where we are, in this wormhole. The Enterprise got damaged, and so they all essentially escaped in escape pods and shuttles. And we don't know if they managed to do it. So after a tussle between Burnham and Locke, they get the next clue. They find a way to bring the ISS Enterprise out of this wormhole, and then Maul and Locke escape again, which I mean I'm not surprised. At there's still plenty of episodes to go before the end of the season. And so they're back on board the ship, and it turns out that the people who escaped from the ISS Enterprise actually did make it into Prime Timeline. Um, and that includes one Admiral Cho, who was a part of the selected team to track down the progenitor tech with Janal, and then are the ones who hid it. So she obviously then went back in to the ISS Enterprise and left the clue there. And then episode ends. So what did I think of this episode? I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. I'm glad that we got to that we're actually seeing the Breen. We haven't seen them again, since the Dominion War and that one appearance in Lower Decks in season 2, 2 or 3, whichever one had the rogue AI ships again. That seems to be a common trope in Star Trek at this point. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Like I said, it was nice to see that we see the Breen. Still don't like the new design of them. I still prefer the original. Then, of course, at the end of the episode, we have a talk between Tilly and Hugh. And as it pans out a bit, we see obviously we know the ship has a Ferengi bartender, but there's also a Morn species. I forget it's the species of Morn. I apologize, but we do see one serving on Discovery sitting at the bar. So that's another callback straight to DS9. There's been a lot of callbacks to DS9 this season, I've noticed, more than usual. And as a DS9 fan, I'm all right with that. Um, but yeah, I know there would have been some people who have seen the trailer, seen the ISS Enterprise, and had hoped that there would have been some Strange New Worlds crossovers. Seeing a mirror universe Captain Pike and that, but no, we didn't. It's nice to see that the it being pulled into the 32nd century, and obviously that's going to go to whatever their version of the Fleet Museum is, and that has me thinking. Actually, now after the since the end of season 3 of Star Trek Picard, I wonder what happened to those hero ships. Did they go boom with the burn, or are they lost to time? You know, um, interesting to think about. Like, and how many other hero ships between the end of season 3 of Star Trek Picard to the 32nd century that there have been, especially with the temporal Cold Wars and all that stuff. But I'm just rambling at this point. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. The next upload will, of course, be the weekly pickups video, which will be on Saturday. And then the next main video will be on Monday, as I'm now technically back from my 2 week break, which wasn't really a 2 week break because I've still been posting content. Um, but we're going back to the Monday and Friday uploads, as well as, of course, the Thursday Star Trek videos. And then when Doctor Who comes back in 2 weeks, my weekly pickups is going to be pushed back to Sundays. So that way on Saturdays I can review Doctor Who instead of having double uploads, which I'm not against doing double uploads, but I prefer Doctor Who reviews to be by themselves type of way. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up. I enjoyed the episode. Still not sure actually how I feel about the look of the Breen. The makeup that they use for Locke makes him look like a chewed up bit of bubblegum. But that's just me. So yeah, if you liked this review and you liked Star Trek in general, make sure to subscribe because I do post Star Trek reviews. Like on Monday, I repurposed my first watch through of the original series. I uploaded that as one big 1 hour, hour 40-minute video, and that means I'll probably end up doing so with the movies next. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I shall see you all next time for next week for episode 6 of Star Trek Discovery. I'll see you all next time.